Are you interested in knowing which countries have the strongest forces in the world? The world's military power is very different and interesting, ranging from busy superpowers to strong countries. That being said, which countries have the biggest armies ready to protect their borders and their own interests? Come with us as we break down the numbers and look at how military power works around the world. What do you think the most powerful person on the list is? Stay tuned to find out and learn about the complex forces that shape the world of security and defense. A country's military size often shows its security needs, geopolitical tactics, and historical background. Active duty troops, reservists, and paramilitary forces are all important for national defense, keeping the peace around the world, and responding to disasters. This article talks about the countries with the biggest armies, focusing on how many there are and what they do. Number 10. Egypt. With around 438,500 active soldiers, Egypt's military is the biggest in Africa and a key contributor to regional stability. The Army, Navy, Air Force, and Air Defense Command, which make up the Egyptian armed forces, are essential to preserving national security, fighting terrorism, and supporting international peacekeeping operations. Egypt's military prowess is emphasized by its advantageous location, which includes the Suez Canal and its proximity to unstable areas. The political climate in Egypt is also intricately linked to the armed forces, which have an impact on both internal and international policy choices. Number 9. Vietnam. The Vietnam People's Armed Forces, which comprise the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Border Defense Force, represent the nation's emphasis on maintaining sovereignty and territorial integrity. Having experienced protracted conflicts, such as the Vietnam War, the military has developed into a disciplined and tenacious force. Vietnam's strategic location in Southeast Asia, with its vast coastline and borders with China, Laos, and Cambodia, calls for a strong defense posture. Finally, the military is an essential component of international peacekeeping missions and disaster relief efforts, enhancing regional stability and security. With 482,000 active duty personnel, Vietnam's military is a cornerstone of the nation's national defense strategy. Number 8. Iran. With over 610,000 active soldiers, Iran's armed forces are a formidable presence in the Middle East, centered around the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and the Islamic Republic of Iran Army. With its specialized forces like the Quds Force, the IRGC is essential to maintaining regional influence and maintaining internal security in Iran. The Iranian military's complete approach to defense is seen in the inclusion of the Air Force, Navy, and law enforcement force. Iran, which is strategically positioned and has borders that touch various unstable areas, highlights its military prowess in defending its interests and thwarting outside threats. Furthermore, the military's strategic significance in influencing Middle Eastern geopolitics is highlighted by its engagement in local conflicts and assistance to friendly parties. Number 7. South Korea. With almost 600,000 active duty members, South Korea's military is a powerful force in the Asia-Pacific area, mostly employed to thwart North Korean aggression. The Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps comprise the armed forces of the Republic of Korea. They are well equipped with cutting-edge weaponry and powerful weaponry. South Korea's conscription laws guarantee a continuous supply of skilled labor, strengthening the country's defenses. The close cooperation between the two countries, which includes joint exercises and American troops stationed in South Korea, is advantageous to the country's military as well. The South Korean military is essential to preserving regional peace, carrying out rigorous training, and being ready for quick mobilization in light of the current tensions on the Korean Peninsula. Number 6. Pakistan. With some 654,000 active duty members, Pakistan's military is among the biggest in the world and is essential to the nation's security and administration. The Army, Navy, and Air Force, as well as other paramilitary groups, are all part of Pakistan's armed forces. Pakistan, which borders India, has a history of violence, which is why it keeps a close eye on its defense capabilities, particularly its nuclear arsenal. In addition, the military is heavily involved in internal affairs and frequently steps in during periods of political unrest. Pakistan's military additionally actively takes part in international peacekeeping missions, supporting efforts to maintain world security, even with obstacles like border conflicts and internal insurgencies. Pakistan's military is still one of the strongest in South Asia. Number 5. Russia. It is a reflection of Russia's historical emphasis on defense and power projection that the Russian military, which consists of approximately 1 million active duty people, is one of the largest and most formidable armies in the world. There are 4 branches of the Russian armed forces: the ground forces, the navy, the aerospace forces, and the strategic missile forces. Each of these branches is armed with cutting-edge technology and machinery. Due to the vastness of its area and the fact that its boundaries extend over both Europe and Asia, the Russian military plays an essential part in ensuring the safety of its borders, preserving its influence in the region, and protecting its national interests. In addition, Russia's military capabilities go beyond those involved in conventional conflict. These capabilities include cyber warfare, space operations, and nuclear deterrent. For the purpose of maintaining its position as a significant military power on the international stage, Russia continues to spend in the modernization of its armed forces, despite the fact that it is experiencing economic difficulties. Number 4. North Korea. The North Korean military, which is comprised of over 1.28 million active duty members, is one of the largest in the world in comparison to the size of its population. Furthermore, the military plays a pivotal role in the governance and ideology of the respective nation. There are several branches of the Korean People's Army, KKA, including the ground forces, the Navy, the Air Force, the Strategic Rocket Forces, and the Special Operation Forces. The KKA places a strong emphasis on self-sufficiency and being loyal to the ruling regime. It is the policies of North Korea's isolationist government, the ongoing conflict with South Korea, and the perceived threats from the United States and its allies that have contributed to the formation of North Korea's military posture. Despite the fact that it is experiencing difficulties in the economy, North Korea continues to maintain a considerable military capabilities, which includes a concentration on the development of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. The military also plays an important part in domestic affairs, in which it is responsible for maintaining internal control and providing support for the political agenda of the state. Number 3. United States. With roughly 1.4 million active duty members, the United States Armed Forces are among the most technologically advanced and globally deployed military forces in the world. They are also one of the most powerful military forces in the world when it comes to protecting national interests, projecting force globally, and providing support to friends and partners. The United States military, which includes the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Space Force, maintains a huge diversity of capabilities within its ranks. In addition to being well known for its capabilities in expeditionary warfare and rapid response, the United States military maintains a large presence in all of the major regions of the world, with bases and deployments located all over the territory. In addition, the United States of America has one of the greatest defense budgets in the world, which is a reflection of the country's dedication to preserving its military superiority and contributing to the protection of the entire world. A further point to consider is that the United States military is an essential component in disaster relief, humanitarian assistance, and peacekeeping missions all over the world. Number 2. India. One of the largest in the world, India's military is responsible for protecting the nation's security interests and fostering regional stability. It has over 1.45 million active duty members, making it one of the largest in the world. There are several paramilitary and auxiliary units that provide assistance to the Indian armed units, which are comprised of the Army, Navy, and Air Force forces. The Indian military maintains a muscular defense posture and is involved in continual modernization initiatives to strengthen its capabilities. This is given the complicated geopolitical environment in which India operates, as well as the long-standing tensions that exist with Pakistan and China, which are India's neighbors. Additionally, India's military is involved in a considerable capacity in disaster relief, peacekeeping missions, and humanitarian assistance, both within the country and on a global scale. With its nuclear arsenal, India's military forces make a significant contribution to both the dynamics of global security and the deterrent of regional threats. Number 1. China. The fact that China's military is the largest in the world, with nearly 2 million active duty people, is a reflection of the country's concentration on the modernization of its defenses and the projection of its strength. A focus on extending China's territorial claims, protecting national sovereignty, and establishing its influence in the Asia-Pacific region and beyond is the primary objective of the People's Liberation Army (PLA), which is comprised of the ground force, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force. China's military expansion involves investments in modern weaponry, cyber capabilities, and space technology. The country's goal is to improve its capabilities for both conventional and asymmetric combat by enhancing its capabilities in these areas. In addition, China's efforts to modernize its military are directly connected to the strategic goals it has set for itself, which include territorial disputes in the South China Sea, Taiwan Strait, and along its borders with India. With China's continued efforts to impose itself on the international scene, the country's military might is playing an increasingly important part in determining the dynamics of regional security and the nature of international relations. If you found this exploration of global military forces informative, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses and updates on international affairs. Stay informed and engaged with our content as we delve into diverse topics shaping our world. Don't miss out on the latest insights. Subscribe now.